Let's pull up this story here talking about culture. We got this from IndieWire. It's weirdly hard to read. Stranger Things star, what's his name? Caleb.
Yeah.
Caleb? It's cut off by the thing. McLaughlin calls out fan racism. Why am I the least favorite? You feel the bigotry, McLaughlin said. Sometimes it's hard to talk about and for people to understand, but when I was younger, it definitely affected me a lot. First, I want to point out, here's what he said. He said, why am I the least favorite? Have the least amount of followers. He said, as a part of a deep conversation. I'm on the same show as everybody from season 1. So like the dude has less followers than his co-stars. So he immediately sues us because people don't like him because he's black. Now, in that capacity, right there, I saw this story and a lot of other people saw the story and they started saying like, oh, this is wokeness, this is a problem. And then I read further and I realized he is 100% correct. I believe the reason he has less followers is because many fans of the show are in fact racist. And he hit the nail on the head with the hammer. And you want to know what's missing from the context in this conversation? He says, sometimes overseas you feel the racism, you feel the bigotry. Sometimes it's hard to talk about and for people to understand. But when I was younger, it definitely affected me a lot. That's right. Outside of the United States, there's probably a lot of people who won't follow him because they are racist. You take a look at what happened with Star Wars in China, and they took the dude who played Finn off the cover. What did they shrink him or something? Or they put him in a helmet?
They put him in a helmet.
They put him in a helmet because they were like, people in China are very, very racist and they don't want to see this. And so the Disney as a corporation was like, yeah, we're totally fine with that. That to me is insane. But this dude's seemingly not talking about people in America. He's saying like, I got less followers than them. Yeah, it's probably people in China and other countries that would watch Stranger Things but are racist. So there you go, man.
I'm on his Instagram page right now. It doesn't look like he posts a lot, and he already, as of now, has 15.4 million followers.
Why does he have more followers than me? It's because
fair.
people don't like mixed race people. That is the only possible explanation.
Oh my God.
That's it.
I can't believe only 15 million people would follow him. That's
15.4.
Unreal.
Yes, on Instagram.
He's one of the most famous people in the world, and he's like,
man, the people overseas don't like me as much as my other cast members.
And he's not that active.
What a victim.
Like he posted on July 30th, September 9th,
Yeah.
Isn't that
September
what people...
12th, September 16th, September 18th, and that's it. That's all the posts.
Wait, maybe he deleted some or something.
So this is inadvertently making the case that America is in fact the greatest country on earth.
We're
or am
more
I
enlightened,
wrong?
exactly.
But that's why people don't want you to like real. So if you're saying that America is an inherently racist country, can you find me one that isn't?
Exactly.
Good question.
well, if America is the least racist country, but it is racist, then every country is substantially worse and more racist.
There you go.
Bingo.
You got it. That's it. But you're not allowed to say that, so this show's shut down, and
Canceled.
that'll be it.
America is a great place.
Yeah.
That's why everybody desperately wants to be here.
Correct.
And then what's funny is we're seeing these videos. There's a video that went viral that Jack Posobiec was sharing about this like white woman, and she's like, "Hi everybody, I moved down to Guatemala to be part of a sustainable living community." And then she's like spinning, and like there's an active volcano. And then I saw that, and I was like, "Is this why woke people don't like white people?" Because
They suck.
it's a really annoying thing to have these like hippie man bun, like elitists be like, I'm gonna move down to Guatemala to teach the poor people, and it's just like, ugh.
Yeah,
Is that what they were talking about?
Peru.
Because I gotta agree that is annoying for these people to do, but it's funny because you have white people leaving the U.S. going to Mexico and going to Central America. At the same time, you have people from Central America trying to come to the United States. So it's kind of funny how that works, huh?
I just can't stop thinking about this kid he wants to be a victim so bad. He's a millionaire. He's on a hit series. 15.4 million people follow him, and yet he's like, it's not enough. Like you really need to. I mean, it's a quote from an article. Maybe there's more to this kid, but Caleb, if you're listening, just appreciate what you have, and don't
get caught up in the numbers.
Yeah, don't get caught up in what you don't have and how other people think about you. Appreciate the fact that 15.4 million kids like you and love you, and that you're a millionaire and you're probably set for life.
That you could reach out to and have a positive impact on by promoting personal responsibility, good values, good morals, and you could lead as an example of something good rather than, of course, just concentrating on something that is negative. And I think there is an aspect of society promoting victimization, promoting, as you mentioned, Andrew, this larger idea, hey, I'm the victim here, and now you have to really like my stuff on social media, and the algorithms promote that stuff, and I think it's disgusting. I think it should be pushed back on, because in reality, like, we're some of the most privileged, one of the richest people on the face of the world, just by simply living here in the United States. We're so freaking lucky.
Not just in the world, in human history.
Yeah, in human history, so freaking lucky. Everything at our fingertips, and if you want something, go out there and get it. There shouldn't be anything standing in your way.
But that's
So
hard.
I just looked up.
To do.
I
Sometimes.
looked up the net worth
don't like hard.
of the cast of Stranger Things. The first thing I want to say is these like celebrity net worth websites are just very wrong. Like one
Oh
of
yeah,
them,
of course.
Oh, yeah, super
one of them
wrong.
said that like Ian was worth like $5 million or whatever, and we were all kind of
It's
like
10 million, but whatever.
but no, we were kind of like maybe there's something we're
Dude,
not.
that
we don't-
graphene, he's got those.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a co-founder of Minds, and Minds is worth a lot, so like maybe it wasn't wrong. But I'm pretty sure this stuff's not true. But anyway, it says that Caleb McLaughlin's net worth is $4 million, and there's another person. Let me pull this back up. Whose net worth is only $1 million. I think it's one. I think is it Maya?
Aren't
No.
all those like AI generated websites that are?
No, this is a different one. This is Netflix Life, and
okay.
but it did look at those websites and then compile them. But let's see. Joe Keery's $4 million. Charlie Heaton's $5 million. I mean, okay, here you go. Sadie Sink is worth $1 million.
But she's new.
Right, she's new.
Right, yeah.
But so anyway, my point is, I don't know what their net worth actually is, but I'm pretty sure everyone on this show is a millionaire. And so there is something special about a group of millionaires, and the not even the lowest millionaire is complaining about not having enough. And there's just something where it's like, I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about that. You know what I mean? Like, it's a big group of ultra rich people on a very successful and popular show, and one dude's like, I'm the least favorite. It's not okay. And it's like, well, you're still like literally in the top 1,000 richest people on the planet or something like that.
I mean, this
Like, how many
shouldn't
million?
even be a
Well, not
story.
the top 1,000.
This shouldn't even be a news story. It's like, oh, well, people overseas don't like me so much. Okay. And that's it. Like, wow.
But he does mention that people wouldn't get in line for him at Comic-Con. Some people didn't stand in my line because I was black. Some people told me, I don't want to be in your line because you are mean to 11. How does this happen, right? I mean, like, no, I mean this for real. Like, did somebody come up to him and tell him that? Just like say racist things to him?
They wouldn't get in the, I mean, what's the proof?
Oh, but I mean, it makes tons of sense. Somebody gets in line, they wait for 20 minutes, and they get up to him and say, hey, just want to let you know, like, me and my friends, didn't want to get in line because of your race,
That's
right?
ridiculous.
That's what
Do you
they would
remember that BYU story from a couple weeks ago?
No,
The
we're
Duke
talking
volleyball
about
player?
it. Yeah, and it was like totally made up.
That got a ton of clicks, and then the real story is like that nobody wants to hear that. So I think that's the point. Is like, hey, how do you keep yourself relevant? How do you get in the headlines? Well, just why don't you go say something controversial that's going to get both sides to click on these websites?
And to talk about you and to follow you on social media now.
Yeah,
And
and
this-
this worked. They were
And
like,
this kid, he's gonna absolutely get sympathy subscribers. It's like, oh, I really like him, and I should have probably followed him. I don't want to be a racist, so I'm gonna click follow on this guy. But he's like a B-list actor. He's not like I mean, when you compare him to Finn Wolfhard or Millie Bobby Brown, I mean, they're like the breakout stars of that show.
Yeah.
He's not, and maybe it's because of his character, the way it's written or whatever. But it's like, if you go to Comic-Con, like, there's not a lot of time. You have to look at the list and see the agenda, like who's going to be there, and you kind of map out and you go, okay, I really want to meet this person. I want to meet this person. And he wouldn't, like, if I was a kid, if I was a Stranger Things fan, I don't know if he'd be in my top 20, honestly.
here's what I'll say about Stranger Things, though. Mad respect for something original.
Yeah.
It is original.
Well,
I'm
they stole
hoping
that
it
from
is,
the
like-
Montauk Project.
No, I know, but the Montauk, the Montauk Project.
He's right. Richie is absolutely
Wake up,
right.
people.
Right, the Montauk Project was
it's
written in
upside
what,
down.
like 93 or something? Let me see.
This one.
Yeah, let me see it.
Let's see.
What's
No,
the year?
This is. I think the second one was written somewhere in the early
89
90s.
or something?
It was 92. There you
92.
go.
I was close.
And again, nothing wrong. I have nothing against this kid. I don't know anything about his personal life, but he's not one of the breakout stars of the show.
The Montauk Project is fake news, and it's made to look real, and it's very clever and very well done. But my understanding is it's total fiction. And I did a bunch of research into it a while
We're gonna
ago.
have to have a debate on this sometime.
It looks
I
like
actually-
Maybe in the
it
after
looks like
show.
a Mark Dice book.
So I did a bunch of I did a bunch of research into it, and it's like considered to be the story behind it is that They wanted to make a book that overlapped with reality and it would sell better and be marketed as something real, but it was just like a fun shocking
Who,
story.
Preston Nichols?
I don't know. That's what I read. But so maybe it's not true. Maybe it's all real.
You can watch interviews with this guy Preston Nichols. I mean, he's a nutty dude, but he definitely knows like radios and frequencies and all that stuff. And when he talks about how he participated in this project, he like draws diagrams and
my point is Stranger Things is inspired by the Montauk Project, but it's like an original concept with like characters and the upside down, the reality. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, I agree.
I think the show's bad. The last season was just miserably terrible, but I like it because they're doing something new, Like, what do we got now? We got a prequel of Game of Thrones, a prequel of Lord of the Rings. We get more Marvel derivative garbage, and it's just like... Okay,
you know when it all happened?
What?
You know when it all started?
When?
It was, I think 1997 was 7 years in Tibet, and they banned that movie from China. And I think it was MGM that produced it. They lost hundreds of millions of dollars. And after that, it was like a message to Hollywood. Like, yo, our market's huge, and it better appeal to us as well as the American audience, as well as so now it's a global market that you're going for. So
that's an argument for making new things, not for regurgitating.
No, because it has to be homogenized to the point where it's going to work across a broad population.
Which makes sense that you could write something new to work across. No,
because then you don't know how it's going to do. You're like Transformers 67 did great, so let's just do 68 and 69.
Well, of course, but that's not.
Well, let's put a Chinese actress in there to appeal to China, so we can get like.
How do the Chinese feel about this new idea? They're like, I have no clue.
That was Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi was very obviously like they were trying to break into the Chinese market. Because the movie had no reason to be in San Francisco at all. Did you guys see it, Shang-Chi?
I don't watch Chinese propaganda.
Whatever.
It's like all of Hollywood now.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
But it was like, you wonder why it is this guy was in San Francisco at all. It's like the story is very much centered around China. And then the main character is like, I'm in San Francisco now for some reason. And now we're going back to China. And they go to like portal to another reality with like, I don't know, pandas or something. And then there's like
that's what they did with Doctor Strange too, right? They changed the Tibetan character.
Yeah, that was so. This is really funny.
So now you have to watch The Core and Shang-Chi.
I do.
So before I want to say
got a lot of work cut out for me.
So there's this meme going around because of the Ariel thing where they made the Ariel's portrayed by a black actress, and so there's a meme where it's a bunch of non-white characters that were played by white actors. And they were like, no one cared. And then it shows the screaming Wojak when it shows Ariel. And they were like, the meme basically says like, nobody cares when white actors play characters of color. And it showed the ancient one in the comic, Tibetan guy. And then it showed Tilda Swinton. And then I had to tell people, like, whenever I see the meme, I'm like, actually the fans were really upset that they got a white woman to play that, because the reason they got rid of the ancient one was not because of racism, it was because they were trying to appease China. And China didn't want a Tibetan guy. Mm-hmm. And so everyone all of a sudden is like,
there you go.
Oh, that actually makes sense. Why? Like, oh, okay. So wait, you mean the fans really were mad about that? Yeah. Like,
but like while you're explaining that, they tuned into like the next TikTok video and they're like, wait, what'd you say? Sorry, I didn't hear that.
And then they started doing a weird meme dance. And then in China, they'd ban that stuff.
But they always complain about they always say that, people are racist if you gender swap or if you race swap. Nobody cares. Like Sam Jackson as Nick Fury. Where was the outrage there?
Well, Robert Downey Jr., dude. Robert Downey Jr. He's not
Nick
canceled.
Fury in the comics was made black a long time ago.
Tropic Thunder.
But he was white originally.
And
the same thing with the Fantastic Four. I hear that they're looking to possibly make it an all black cast when the last Fantastic Four they swapped out Johnny Storm
with Michael B. Jordan.
Right.
But I think the latest news on Fantastic Four is that they're going to get what's her name, Daddario and her brother, Alexandria Daddario and her brother. Is that her name, Daddario or something? But I don't know, whatever. But her and her brother are going to play Susan Storm. That's what the rumor is. So whatever. What's that guy's name? John Krasinski? Is that the guy? I think he did great as Reed Richards, but I guess they're not going to use him. I don't know. I kind of feel like
he looks great. He looks like Reed Richards.
But he's a good character anyway. He's a good actor. But I got to be honest. I think the MCU is just completely done. It's just become regurgitated derivative garbage at this point. It had something unique when they were like reinvigorating these stories like Iron Man and Captain America and Thor. And I think Endgame was the Endgame. I think after that, it's just been like...
Like Black Widow was awful.
Oh, yeah.
It was... There's... I can't remember who did it. I'm really sorry, but there's like it feels like it's a 5-hour breakdown of this movie showing every tiny little thing that's wrong with it, and it's brilliant. I can't remember who did it, but I watched the last Spider-Man movie, and I've kind of given up. Like I didn't think about watching Thor. I didn't watch Doctor Strange. I was never going to watch She-Hulk.
They're not telling original stories. They're not. Here, I like Doctor Strange. It's a movie. It's an origin story. It's a guy who's doing his thing.
Sure.
Doctor
it's an
Strange.
okay movie.
Doctor Strange 2 is Avengers. Like Thor, Avengers. It's all just Avengers now. It's all like here's 27 characters all dancing on stage.
And it's just more of a video game than a movie. Like how much of that movie is CGI versus like you look at the budget and then you look at the credits and there's like 20 actors and like 600 animators.
And the only reason I would actually watch it is because it's Sam Raimi directing, but that's it.
Thanks for checking out this segment from the Timcast IRL podcast. But if you want to check out the full show live, tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. And if you want more special access content, head over to timcast.com and become a member. Your membership helps sustain this company, keep our journalists employed, makes this show happen, and you will get access to exclusive members-only segments of the Timcast IRL podcast, and there's a massive library to check out. So again, go to timcast.com or tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., and we'll see you all there.